How are you everyone? My name is Michael and I'm here to discuss why my team and I picked the stock of Johnson & Johnson. I want to begin by saying a famous quote from Warren Buffett, and where he says that he doesn't invest in what he doesn't understand. So it is very important for individuals, before investing in a stock, to have an idea of who the company is, what do they do, and what products do they have to offer to the market that will make them successful. So who is Johnson & Johnson? What do they do? Johnson & Johnson is an American multinational pharmaceutical company founded in 1886. They embrace research and science, also bringing innovative ideas and products and services to advance in the health and well-being of people in general, the consumer. Why pick Johnson & Johnson? First, to pick Johnson & Johnson is common sense. One, people's health is their #1 asset. Regardless if the stock market is up or down, mental and physical health will always be a priority. And also, Johnson & Johnson offers a huge variety of product lines, and they also invest in so much on future research, which is good. Is very good for your stock. For future research, things that will work will make your stock go up and will make you more money. Also, it is very important to look where Johnson & Johnson is standing in the pharmaceutical industry. First, Johnson & Johnson is the world's 6th largest consumer health company. They also have the most comprehensive medical devices in the healthcare business. They're also the world's largest biologics company and the world's 5th largest pharmaceutical company. So they doing very good to be in that position in our world. So that's something that makes them very attractive and profitable for the future. Also, I want to discuss a little bit more of the product. They have many consumer products in the market. They offer product for skincare, vision care, oral care. I have here one of the few products that I personally use from Johnson & Johnson, which is baby oil, which is a very good stuff. I've been using this product for many years. I recommend it to you guys. Also, Listerine oral care. So these are things that you can find in any CVS pharmacy that you go around the country here in the US. They also offer in medical devices product for healthcare professional in the fields of orthopedic, neurological diseases, diabetes, infection prevention, and products that diagnose people and for heart diseases and are aesthetic. Also, what makes Johnson & Johnson a good stock and very attractive is that they always investing in new innovation for the future. Right now, they're working for to fighting HIV, to destroy the disease of HIV, and to prevent baby to be born HIV free. They want babies to be born HIV free, and they're working on research to actually treat the disease and get rid of HIV. They also investing in artificial spine. So they have these metallic spines that will be introduced on people's spine by surgery, and which supposedly is going to make them feel better. And also they're also working on surgical robots, basically machine that will do this surgeries themselves without the need of a doctor, to treating and cutting, etc. And also, besides looking at all these great things about Johnson & Johnson, I just wanted to bring up a little of details of downsides or investing in a pharmaceutical company. Basically, the risk. One of the risks that they have is basically that the drugs that they develop might not work, that FDA might not approve them, and if a drug is actually approved, it might run the risk of doing poorly in the market. However, should Johnson & Johnson stock worry about that? My opinion, no. First, Johnson has a variety of products that if one fails, the company can rely on the success of another product. Plus, the company brand is one of the best in the world.
Hi, my name is Ala Direk, and today I will try to analyze Johnson & Johnson from an investor's point of view. Our team purchased the stock of Johnson & Johnson back in September, and it turned out to be the second best performing stock in our portfolio. For the time that we owned this stock, the price per share grew from $93 to $102.05 as of today, and we made almost $15,000 on it for 3 months. Let's look at some slides. So like I said, for these 3 months, we can see that the stock was growing and the price per share grew up from 93 to 102.25. Well, actually 102.05 as of today, and we made almost $15,000 in total. And this is our second best performing stock. So what we would like to see now, if that was just a coincidence that we made money on this particular company, or if that gain of profit was actually predictable and could be done like using some analysis. And for that purpose, we will use Warren Buffett's guidelines, because he seems to be like a guy who knows what to look at when making an investment. So let's look at his guidelines. And we'll actually start with the 5th one, which says invest based on numbers and not opinions. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're going to look at some numbers, some financial statements, and see how the company is doing. So let's look at the first one, increasing revenue. Let's look at the income statement. And if we look at the revenue section, we will see that the revenues were actually growing. In 2012, they were close to 67 billion. It grew up to 71 billion in 2013, and it grew even more up to 74 billion in 2014. So that guideline is met. Warren Buffett likes to see cash while investing in a company, and this is understandable because each company needs cash to pay off current liabilities, to make investments, to pay dividends and whatnot. So let's look at the cash level of Johnson & Johnson. They managed to keep their cash at about 15 billion each year, which is not bad considering the fact that that actually is about 25% of their current assets, which is a good thing. It would be worse probably if their current assets consisted mainly of inventories, which are harder to get rid of. So cash level is pretty good for Johnson & Johnson. He also wants to see low debt or no debt in a company he invests in. So let's look at some liabilities of Johnson & Johnson. Actually, if we look at total liabilities for the past year, which are close to $61 billion, and then we'll look at stockholders' equity, which is $69 billion, we'll see that debt-to-equity ratio is close to 100%, which is not good because Warren Buffett says it should be not more than 25%. But let's look close at the issue and let's see the current ratio. The current ratio would be current assets over current liabilities. And that would be 2.36, which means that all the current liabilities the company has right now can be covered by current assets more than twice, which is a very good sign because current liabilities are very important to pay off on time for the company not to go bankrupt. Guideline number 4. The price per share should be more than $10. This is probably because if the price per share is more than $10 for a company, it means the company is well established, well known, and there is less chance for an investor to lose money on it. Let's look at ROE, return on equity, which according to Warren Buffett should not be less than 20%. And that, as we know, measures how company generates profit with the money that the shareholders provide for it, how successful they are of making extra money on the money that the shareholders give them. And this is net income over equity. Let's go back to net income. Our net income for 2014 was about $16 billion, and equity, as we mentioned before, close to 70. That gives us return on equity of 23%, which is above 20% minimum of Warren Buffett, and which is good. And lastly, net profit margin. Net profit margin reveals the amount of profit that a business can extract from its total sales. So let's see. And this is, as we see, it is net income over revenues. So our net income is 16 billion and our revenues are $74 billion, which gives us the ratio of which gives us the margin of 22%. 22% is more than twice of Warren Buffett requirements. So we are good at that. So as we actually can see, the fact that the Johnson & Johnson made money for us in these 3 months was not just a coincidence. We could have predicted that if we made some analysis before investing in the stock, and probably if I had some extra money and I had to choose a stock to invest in, I would probably choose Johnson & Johnson. Thank you. Bye.